Before we get started on today's video, I wanted to take the time to say that it's officially been 1 year since I started the channel and uploaded my first video, so I wanted to sincerely say thank you to everybody that's been watching the channel, enjoying the vids, leaving comments and everything. It's meant a lot and it's been a lot of fun. Really, it's been a hell of a fucking ride since the beginning. So today we're going to be talking about circumcisions and the unfortunately named ZeldaSpeedrun.com. So happy 1 year, and for old time's sake, let's just throw the old Rebel Light intro in. I want to give a quick shout out to my brother XGP for the video suggestion today. He actively contributes to a lot of speedrunning stuff, and after hearing about my community guidelines warning a few weeks back, probably thought this would make for a funny ass topic, so shout out to XGP. Right off the bat, you may be thinking to yourself, what the hell does ZeldaSpeedrunning.com and circumcisions have to do with one another? It all actually comes down to the abbreviation itself, ZSR. Gray really wants to be in the video today, I guess. Right, buddy? One being a Zelda speedrunning community, the other being a circumcision tool. In truth, there's nothing particularly new about speedrunning a Zelda game. Hell, people have been doing it since before the advent of YouTube and posting their different times online. However, what makes this a special case is if one was to venture over to the YouTube and type ZSR into the search bar, well, only after a few videos you'll be met face to face with uncircumcised dick. And I'm not fucking kidding either. And if you're a fan of the ZSR community, you're unfortunately going to unintentionally run into a vast numerous amount of dick pics because of their branding. If we look on the main ZeldaSpeedrunning.com website, they are branded and actively promoted as ZSR. Their YouTube channel as well is also ZSR, and thankfully they are the first results if you were to type it in the search bar. But again, not 2 videos down and whang. Now, ZSR as a speedrunning community has been around for a while. They still actively host speedrunning tournaments, a lot of which are hosted on their website, on Twitch, and are viewable via their YouTube page. I did comb through quite a few of their different speedrunning tournaments that they put on, and all in all, they actually seem like pretty chill people. They're based out of Germany, I believe, and for the most part, they all seem like they just enjoy speedrunning Zelda games for the fun of it. And it's kind of refreshing to see people just enjoying shit for the sake of enjoying it after dealing with a lot of drama from various communities this year that's not circumcision related. The furthest back I was able to find the website was from September 4th, 2009 via the Wayback Machine. On the website, much like today, it was Zelda speedrunning focused. Various tricks as well as different times and whatnot that you could post up there. Again, if you're interested in a lot of the Zelda speedrunning stuff, I actually do recommend checking out their website, and I'm gonna have it linked below. Okay, I'm done fucking around. So why does uncircumcised dick pop up when you type in ZSR in the search bar? It's for the most part thanks to 2 separate doctors, one from Delhi named Dr. Ashish Kumar Saini and an Indian doctor named Dr. V.G. Gupta. But as of now, I'm just going to refer to them both as Dr. Dicks.
We're surrounded by dickheads.
Now, both these surgeons specialize in urology and sexology. And despite the fact that I'm probably going to make a million pecker jokes from here to the end of the video, I do have to say that both doctors, at least from the research I was able to find, are licensed professionals who are good at their work and take it very seriously. I'm just a fucking asshole that thinks penises are funny.
Giant dicks are showing up in the sky.
When scrolling down through the ZSR search results, aside from the speedrunning, those 2 doctors are the first ones who pop up. This is because from their website, they have informational videos in regards to what a ZSR is and what the procedure will be like for a patient visiting them. Now, in the interest of fairness, both of these fucking YouTube channels are not just specifically about circumcision. They actually focus mostly on urology and are a pretty healthy source of information if you're going to be going into that particular field and specializing in it. However, because of how YouTube's search algorithm is set up, these ZSR vids get pushed up extremely high because of the number of views they have received plus the amount of subs both channels have, each channel having over 20,000 subs. Compare those channels with ZSR, which only has 4,000 subs, and you can kind of see why the other circumcision videos will take priority. So you're probably asking, what the hell is a ZSR circumcision? Well, ZSR is the name of the device utilized in the procedure. And that's probably another reason why it ranks super high in the YouTube algorithm. As of now, there are 3 different forms of circumcision that are the most popular. The first is the conventional method, the method by which most people who who've had a circumcision before the year 2000 are most likely acquainted with. This consists of a dorsal slit, the forceps guided method, and a sleeve resection. Usually this is the method conducted on babies, and let's be real, looking at it, it looks painful as fuck. The next most popular is the Chinese Shang ring method, where a ring is attached to the foreskin after it's pulled open and the doctor then proceeds to cut along the ring. Now, for obvious reasons, I'm not gonna show that here, but here's a fucking video of me reacting to that shit.
Adult male circumcision with the Chinese Shang ring.
Hear that, Grant? The Chinese Shang ring.
After the rings are secured, cut the foreskin on the underside of the device using scissors.
I'm sure there's some fucking person out there that's like, oh, I watch this stuff and I don't get affected by it at all. Well, fucking good for you. Alright, this actually has nothing to do with the video, but I just think it's kind of funny. In a couple of months, we're going to be getting a Shang-Chi movie, and in that movie, he fights the Mandarin, who's known for having the 10 rings of power. And overall, I do think it looks pretty good, or at least it will be interesting if the premise is it's basically like Marvel Cinematics universe of Enter the Dragon. But the movie's called Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. So kind of in the back of my head, I'm thinking like the whole movie is just a giant metaphor for the hero getting a circumcision.
But that's not right!
Finally, we have the stapler method, in which the doctor utilizes a device known as the ZSR. Basically, a steel cylinder is placed into the foreskin. The device is designed to keep the tip of the dick away from the ZSR device. After that, a zip tie is used on the foreskin to keep the device in place. And finally, the ZSR is used to clamp onto the foreskin, and boom. We got a circumcised schlong. And here's also a reaction to that. All right, here comes the fucking ZSR method. Gotta measure his dick size. Then they use a zip tie to keep the fucking... oh, they're cutting it to make sure, you know, cut the zip tie. Make sure that keep that fucking zip tie on. You know, it's funny, the ZSR device almost looks like a wine bottle opener. I like how he kind of just angles it another way to show the dick better. He's like, yep, there's definitely a dick here. Wait, where's the... Oh, You know what the foreskin looks like after he chopped it off? It's like, have you ever had like a tooth pulled and you've had to put gauze in your mouth? And you've had to leave the gauze in your mouth for like an hour or a couple of hours. And then you pull it out and it's like this weird brownish, bloody kind of color. That's what that shit looked like. Ugh. Now, keep in mind that both the videos that I reacted to today are also available to watch on YouTube, and none of which have a disclaimer by YouTube, either on the thumbnail or inside the video description about what kind of content's gonna be shown. So how the fuck do these videos stay up despite the fact that there is clearly a dick in the thumbnails and live dicks in the video? Well, let's take a trip into YouTube's community guidelines, because it's full of shady bullshit, which, I mean, if you've been on this platform for, you know, anything longer than 2 minutes, you'll undoubtedly run into some bullshit. But according to YouTube, depending on the situation, nudity is allowed to a certain degree as long as it's educational, with a couple caveats. Here's what's said explicitly by YouTube and what the rules are. Explicit content meant to be sexually gratifying is not allowed on YouTube. Posting pornography may result in content removal or channel termination. Videos containing fetish content will be removed or age restricted. In most cases, violent, graphic, or humiliating fetishes are not allowed on YouTube. Don't post content on YouTube if it has any of the items below. Explicit content featuring the below policy violations could result in channel termination. Depiction of genitals, breasts, or buttocks, clothed or unclothed, for the purposes of sexual gratification. Pornography or depicting sexual acts, genitals, or fetishes for the purpose of sexual gratification on any surface such as a video, text, audio, or images. We may allow nudity when the primary purpose is educational, documentary, scientific, or artistic and isn't gratuitous. For example, a documentary on breast cancer would be appropriate, but posting clips out of context to sexually gratify from the same documentary is not. Out of context nudity in indigenous communities, during medical procedures, during childbirth, during artistic performances, or during breastfeeding may not meet our documentary exceptions. The same applies to depictions of sex scenes in artistic content such as films, audio stories, music, or video games. Remember that giving context in the content, title, and description will help us and your viewers determine determine the primary purpose of the video. Keep in mind, they did specify that even if it does fall under the documentary style thing, it may not be documentary exemption, so they could theoretically take it down for any reason still. And given that the thumbnail by Dr. Jayanti Bain clearly shows a dick, means that by YouTube standards, this is okay. And that doesn't sit well with me. And not because it's just a fucking circumcised dick being there, but because other content creators will get dinged by YouTube for something far, far less egregious than a fucking uncircumcised penis. Because of their very vague policies on what is or is not allowed. And no, this time I'm not actually talking about my last video. That whole thing got squared away. That was probably just some asshole who falsely reported it. But getting into YouTube's very, very vague rules is a whole fucking can of worms in itself, so I digress. So that's the unfortunate cross-branding problem of ZSR. Really, ZeldaSpeedrunning.com seems pretty legit, and unfortunately it's probably going to get GIMP traction-wise as long as the ZSR vids take center stage. While ZSR may own legal trademark over that particular acronym, the ZSR medical device is its own thing, so there's not much they can really do against that. On top of that, Zelda is still a Nintendo property, so legally, I also don't think there's much they could do either. And hey, if you stumbled across this video while looking up ZSR and was confused as to why you were face to face with a mountain of Peters, well, I hope this cleared things up. Make sure to keep things light and rebellious. Thanks for the 1 year, and I'll see you guys next time.